Hi guys, my name is Gabi Tavi and I'm an illustrator, and this is my vlog number 6. This week I'm in a different location. I am in Devshey, which is just a small town about 100 kilometers away from my hometown, Klaipėda. This is where my husband's parents live, and they also have this nice cottage in the outskirts of the town, and it's surrounded by nature. It's very isolated and beautiful. So I thought, because the weather got really nice recently, finally, after this long winter, so I thought it'd be nice to just go and freshen up my mind a bit and go have some rest, because it's been very intense 4 months since New Year. And also, while staying here, I had some time to reflect a bit on my life in the recent year, because I realized that right now it's been a year since my last hand-in of uni work. So for a year now I've had to manage my own deadlines, do my own projects, see clients, just do my career. So I decided to have a look a bit at what I've been up to for this past year and how I feel about it. After the hand-in, I still had to prepare for the degree show, because that's what you do when you're in art college. You hand in your illustrations for grading, but then you set up your exhibition showcase space, and you have this degree show event for 2 weeks or so where people come and see your work. After that there was graduation, obviously, and after the graduation a group of my course-mates, including me, went to London to showcase our work and meet people and just see. It was like a graduate event, so it was very expensive. It was nice to see how it works with graduate events, and even though it wasn't much visual kind of illustration focused, it was still nice to hang around and see people's work. After that I just came back home, moved back to Lithuania, and started working part-time, because I wanted to still save as much money as possible for my wedding, because I got married on the 17th of November last year. So basically from the time I moved back to Lithuania to December, it was planning the wedding, getting married, and then going off for the honeymoon. So I didn't do almost any illustration work in that time, because the planning was so overwhelming and stressful, even though we didn't even have a party. So I can only imagine what people who actually organize their weddings for themselves go through. It's crazy. Basically I didn't do much of illustration work up until December, which is quite a big chunk of time, apart from wedding invitations, because I thought that's a must. I have to create it for myself, because it's about us. My freelance career only began in January, so after this festive season that I just wanted to enjoy and embrace, because I hadn't been home for Christmas for 4 years. Basically all the time I was in uni, because I couldn't afford it. I had a part-time job that wouldn't let me go home, because it was the busiest time, because I was in hospitality. It was very nice to have Christmas back home finally, so I didn't do illustration then during that time either. So yeah, January I decided to get back to illustration full-time, and I started working full days from the time I get up to the time I go to bed, and trying to build up my new website, trying to learn how to use software for making websites, because I didn't do it online, I did it offline for the first time. So there was a huge learning curve with that. So I created my own website, my own logo, basically changed the artist name from Gabrielė Lisauskaitė, which was actually my name before I got married, and into Gabi Tavi, which is much more simple and I guess visually attractive and easier to type in to Google. very practical reasons for changing that as well. And yeah, so created my logo. Then I also launched Etsy shop and already have 5 sales, which is nothing, but I think it's a good start as well, because I'm just very happy that within the first month I had these 5 sales, because I didn't really expect that, because the exposure is so low. And then I launched my YouTube channel that have 6 videos, including this one, which is also a bit of a surprise to me, because I thought I would just drag it and push it back as much as possible and never do it, but because I decided that it's gonna be all about learning and documenting, so I kind of tried to, you know, kill that perfectionist in me a bit, and decided to just launch the channel as soon as I have my first video edited. So that's why my videos are so shabby. The sound is so bad because I'm just learning every time I edit a video, so I want these videos to be also the documentation of how I progress towards making better videos. So I learned a bit how to edit videos, because this one, before YouTube, I only made like maybe 1 video overall. Also from January to up until now, I had 4 personal projects, which are Tesla the Bulldog print that I have on Etsy now, which was inspired by my dog Tesla, pictured in this wintry scene, winter flowers. Yeah, it's kind of, you know, dogs. And the one was this wintry girl in a sled with a crown, in a wintry scene as well. That illustration that I kind of created, inspired by my childhood memories where there was so much snow, and then my dad would take me out on a sled to see the town, and it was very nice. And then the next one, they're actually in mixed order, but then also another project I did was the one I talked about in my previous vlog, about that space stuff print, where 2 planets colliding in a night sky in this wintry scene. So yeah, quite a lot of winter stuff, because winter is taking ages and it just lasts for like half a year in Lithuania, which I completely forgot while living in Scotland. So my heart was just broken so many times, because spring wasn't coming, and up until this week, and I still have my winter coat here, which is crazy. It used to not be like that. Since January as well, I did logo projects for one of my friends who's a floral designer, and she created a bridal bucket for my wedding, and it was so beautiful. And I created a logo for her personal brand as well, because she wants to create this like online shop where she could sell her flower designs and buckets, and that was quite enjoyable, and get to know her better as well through making her a logo. And then I got commissioned to do a album cover design for this music band Manners, who are very cool people, and I love their music. And they found me through this girl referred me to them because they were looking for an illustrator, and so yeah, I love when people recommend me to other people. It just has such a big value, and I appreciate it so much. So then I got commissioned and I finished the cover design, but I'm still working on like the insides of the box, like the insert and just the overall layout of the CD album. And then what else I did was, I actually gave an interview about illustration, but then the lady disappeared and never got back to me, although it took me like 3 full days to answer all the questions because they were so open-ended. That's fine, well, people disappear, I guess, and what can you do about it? I did a proposal for a project for this guy who's doing his PhD, and he needed like a whole lot of illustrations for the slides of his like documentary, but then the project fell through because it was just so much work, which means it was a big sum of money that he just couldn't afford spending, because he needed like I don't know, like 50 illustrations or something, which is crazy. But I still made him 3, so so he kind of has a feeling, gets a feeling of what I would go for. He really liked it, but he just couldn't afford it. So, well, that's a shame, because I think that would have been a nice project as well. And then I did this very short project of creating a poster design for my church community children's summer camp, because I just have like tradition of creating it every year or so for them. And that's kind of my contribution to the camp that I spent a couple of years as a teenager as well. And I created my first ever and only GIF image. That is a landing page of my website and is an intro of my videos on YouTube. Oh, and I also applied for this grant for a project in my hometown, which wasn't like, it wasn't too big of a project, but it's for a project I will do about my city and about its street names. So I'm gonna find out at the end of this month whether I get it or not, because that will be like a 12-month long project, which would end up resulting like a book for telling stories about my hometown street names and their development and the stories and just interesting things that revolved around them throughout ages. And I think it's been a good year. I mean, I was very stressed out and anxious for the first half of it, because I felt like, you know, I'm not doing illustration work, but I'm just abandoning it altogether. And I was really afraid that I would just lose kind of the skill and the rhythm, the routine of working on illustration constantly that I kind of gained over 4 years in uni. So that was just making me very anxious. But I'm glad I kind of got myself together after the wedding and after December, and started to work on my personal brand and launched it together with, like, you know, it's on YouTube, and so it's going well. And I'm trying to just get everything together, because there's so many channels that I'm now operating on in social media. I made this list because I was feeling frustrated and upset, because I thought that I'm not doing enough work and I'm just not good enough, which just, you know, I think a lot of freelance artists and designers face, because it's just, you know, you're just on your own and it's hard to think of it objectively. But now that I have this list, it's kind of more of a rational look at it, and yeah, it's been a lot of work done over those 4 months, and I'm just feeling better now, because I was just not doing well in terms of work-life balance, because I've just been working all the time and still not feeling like I'm doing enough. But because I have this list and I see the results, it makes me feel more comfortable to just relax for a couple of days and kind of enjoy the time spent in surrounded with nature, and just relax a bit before I get on with the rest of the stuff that needs done. Also, what I've learned throughout the years that I think because I wasn't doing a lot of work for quite a big chunk of time, which is like 4 or 5 months, I was getting more and more kind of perfectionist and anxious about even starting to draw again. So I learned that just kind of resisting that and drawing regardless is very important. Just not being perfectionist about my personal projects, because that just kind of puts extra pressure on and results in not doing any work at all, which is very bad, because I think keeping drawing is like just practicing all the time is so vital to my craft. And I learned with like projects like Tesla, the bulldog, the dog, the puppy illustration that took me 1 day to produce. I think is one of the best illustrations of this year that I made, and because I was not precious about it, I think that's why it turned out quite well, because I was not kind of torturing it and trying to make it perfect. That's why it has this like nice naive feel to it. So yeah, that's what I learned. Because this channel is about documenting and sharing what I learned, that's why I wanted to just talk about that to you guys and share what I've been up to. I've been enjoying it, although I still, as I said, mentioned I need better work-life balance because I've just not been loving myself recently, and I think I need that. So while I'm here in this beautiful little town, I'll try to have a bit of a rest and just enjoy myself and kind of freshen up my inspiration and my creative juices. And that's been my year since the end of my last uni semester. And thanks for watching, and if you find it relevant, if you liked it, please click thumbs up, and if you just stumbled across this channel just now, please subscribe for more videos, and please let me know what you think and whether you have the same struggle as a freelance illustrator, because as I mentioned before, it's very important for me to find this community of artists, because illustration is such a solitary job that it's nice to know that you're not alone on your journey, and there are people who are also on the same page. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and see you next time, guys. Thank you. Bye.